Hey there! Aren't you just as interested as me to learn about this fundamental trigonometric identity? Don't you just want to know the answer? I didn't think so. Well, guess what? You have to watch it anyway. So I'm going to show you in this video how to figure this out. Here, let me explain what equals what. Now, over here, we have cosine. Cosine also equals 1 over secant. 1 over cosine also equals secant, so secant also equals 1 over cosine. So, when you put those together, we get a square. But what's this? We have a square for a 1, which when you flip over, is a cosine times 1 over cosine. So, that times that is that. And that times that must also equal that. See? It's a perfect square. Good idea, huh? And it's white, like this other one, but we'll get back to that later. Now, what if you need to know cosine and sine? What can we know about that? Well, if you flip them over, it don't equal anything. But let's not worry about that. Let's put those together and, well, what does that do? Well, if you add those together, you get a same shape as 1. But why would we get the same shape as 1? Because cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1. Oh, look at that! It's almost like it was meant to be. Alright, let's move on to the problem. So, let's figure this out. As we can see from this, we got cosine times secant. Well, the only way we can figure that out is if we find out this. Secant also equals 1 over cosine. If you multiply those together, you get cosine over cosine. And, well, cosine over cosine is obviously 1. How do we know that? Well, you can see from this that cosine times cosine, 1 over cosine is 1. And look, it's even... So now we get rid of that, replace it with that, we get 1 minus cosine squared equals sine squared. But what do we do to figure that out? Well, we can see from over here that if we added cosine squared to both sides, cosine would come over here, be added to this, and become 1. How do we know it become 1? Well, from this card, we can see that cosine squared plus sine squared equals 1, and it's in the same shape. Now, if we reset everything again, we can see that we're already subtracting from 1. So if we subtract cosine squared from 1, instead of adding a cosine squared to the 1 we're put to sine squared, we're taking this cosine away from this 1 to get this sine squared. So if we take away this cosine from this 1, we will get this one and only sine squared. And sine squared equals sine squared. Yeah! I don't know what to do after this. Cut the video.